Hi and welcome back to the channel. Man United are hosting Liverpool tomorrow afternoon at Old Trafford. And what can I say? This is the big one. This is really the big one. I need the boys to turn up tomorrow. No excuses. Ten Hag, you've been backed. Ugarte was announced yesterday, so I don't want any problems. But yeah, before I get too much into the preview, I'm going to start by going through a few questions which Ten Hag was asked in the press conference as always. The first one was, does he expect Jadon Sancho to stay at the club? And of course, Ten Hag came out and said, yes, he expects Sancho to stay at the club. He's an important first-team player. In fact, after the international break, we're gonna be playing a game basically every 3 other days. So we need as much squad depth as we possibly can. And lo and behold, by the time the transfer window ended, Jadon Sancho was sold, and we're just like, come on, you couldn't write it. But to be fair, I hear it. I don't expect Ten Hag to come out and say, yes, we don't want Sancho, we want to get rid of him. It is what it is. Sancho has been sold. I did a live video last night, venting basically and expressing my frustration with the deal. But it is what it is. There's no point crying over spilt milk. He's now a Chelsea player. It's time to focus on United and move forward. But anyways, what else was Ten Hag asked? He was asked about Scott McTominay, whether he saw the videos of him arriving in Naples and basically the love the Napoli fans were showing to McTominay. Ten Hag basically said that yes, he saw it, and it was a bit of a bittersweet moment for him. Basically, he was happy for him that he's going to a place where he wants to go, but it was also sad because he would have loved to keep Scott McTominay at the club. However, he did bring up the fact that due to McTominay being one of the homegrown players, 100% profit, so the rules need to be changed towards that, because they're basically encouraging for clubs to sell their youth academy products. And yeah, he'd like to see a change when it comes to that. What else was he asked? Manuel Ugarte. He was asked what Ugarte would bring as opposed to Scott McTominay, and he basically said that no, he was happy because the thing is, United had already about three number 10s, but they only had one DM in Casemiro, so they felt they needed a backup. So they felt they needed an additional number 6. Hence, we're getting the new player, which I agree with him. I understand. I expect Ugarte to become the starter and Casemiro to be someone who comes off the bench, and maybe they can rotate. One starts this week, the next game the other one starts. But yeah, what else was he asked? Oh yeah, lastly, he was asked about Alan Shearer's comments on Marcus Rashford. Basically, Shearer was criticizing Rashford over the past weekend, saying that he's being offside way too many times, not playing well, things like that. And then basically Ten Hag was asked about that, what he thought about those comments. He basically said that the English media just criticize everything we do, whether we play well, whether we play bad. So he's used to it, but he honestly thought that Alan Shearer's comments on Marcus Rashford were basically stupid. He literally said those were stupid analysis. So I was like, okay, Ten Hag, I love the fighting spirit. Don't let them keep on putting it on us. Let's actually give some back. So I rate that. But yeah, I think those were the important parts of the press conference when it came to Erik Ten Hag. And I was happy with his responses, really. I mean, it's nothing but what else do you expect him to say? But yeah, let's keep it moving to the game from tomorrow. But like I said, Man United are hosting Liverpool at Old Trafford tomorrow. The bitter rivals are in town, so we need to make sure we do not do anything to embarrass ourselves. Like, we've taken enough beatings from these guys. I'm tired. I've seen them beat us 7-0. I've seen them beat us 5-0. I just can't take it anymore. This is Old Trafford. At least last season we played them 3 times. We beat them once and drew the other 2 games, because we easily have won the other one as well. But yeah, given how the season has started, we had a good start against Fulham. We played well, but against Brighton we played well for the first half, but then the second half we were quite poor. So it's a bit worrying that we seem to drop off when it comes to the second half, because to an extent it happened against Fulham as well, but we're at Old Trafford, so the crowd saw us through the game. So now with Liverpool coming into town, it's going to be a very difficult game. Honestly, I think it's going to be a very difficult game. So what do I expect to happen? Typically, I'd say Liverpool could win. But like I said, the game is at Old Trafford. Arne Slot is still trying to figure out his team. And to be fair, in the first 2 games which they played against Forest and Ipswich, is it all Forest? I think it is Forest and Ipswich. They considered quite a number of shots. I think they considered about 7 or 8 shots against Ipswich, and then they considered 8 shots in their second game of the season. So it shows that they're still trying to figure out the style of play, and they're still trying to implement it. They haven't perfected it as yet, so there's a chance to go at Liverpool here and actually beat them. And given the fact that the game is actually at Old Trafford, makes me even more positive, because I think the genuinely is a chance for us to win this game. So I'd love to see us go and actually beat Liverpool at Old Trafford tomorrow. I'm not saying I expect us to dominate the game, but we want to play transition football. Slot wants to play a bit of possession based, but with a bit of transition as well. Mixed. So I expect a very exciting game tomorrow, to be honest. But as for how the game will be played, I can't say for sure. So what I can expect tomorrow is a bit tricky. I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't know what to expect. A part of me is thinking United might win it by 2 goals to 1. But I also think Liverpool might win by 2 goals to 1. So, and then again, at the same time, I'm thinking it might be a 2-2 draw. I don't know. I just feel like there'll be goals in this game. Honestly, I think there'll be goals. And it's going to be a close one. I don't see anyone winning by like 3-0 or 4-0, anything like that. No, I think it's going to be a 1-goal margin if either side is to win the game. And I think if either side is to win the game, it's going to be a 2-1 win. We'll either win 2-1 or Liverpool will win 2-1. But the game, due to the game being at Old Trafford, and I think United players will rise. The fans will be behind the team. And I think we will somehow, and I mean somehow, beat Liverpool. So I'm going to predict a 2-1 win. As for the squad that I'd like to say, or the starting 11 that I'd like to see tomorrow, picked by Eric Ten Hag, I need changes now. I know Mason Mount is injured, so he's definitely not going to be taking part of that game. But I'm looking to see changes. I'm trying to see Matthias de Ligt and Joshua Zirkzee start tomorrow against Liverpool. We need to have them start the game. Enough of this. I said start with the same team which we played against Fulham, against Brighton, because they're done well against Fulham. However, I said if they don't perform, drop some players. And that's exactly what happened. So now we need to drop the players who didn't perform well and bring in the players who we need for our starting 11. Of course, Ugarte is not available for tomorrow because apparently he wasn't registered in time. So he'll only be available for United after the international break. So the squad starting 11 that I'd like to see is basically Andre Onana in goal. Right back, I'd like to see Mazraoui. Dalot at left back. I'd like to see Lisandro Martinez left centre back. And I'd like to see Matthias de Ligt start tomorrow, like I said. De Ligt must start. We signed him for a reason. Maguire's our fourth choice centre back. He needs to go on the bench. De Ligt must start tomorrow. When it goes to the midfield too, I'd like to see the pivot of Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro. Like I said, Ugarte is not available, so it definitely has to be those two. So Casemiro and Kobbie in midfield for me, and then in the 10, I'd like to see Bruno Fernandes. On the right, I'd like to see Amad Diallo. On the left, I personally would like to see Marcus Rashford dropped, but I don't think he'll do it. I'd like to see him dropped, but I just don't think Ten Hag will do it. I think he's been awful, honestly, Marcus Rashford. He's been absolutely terrible. So I would honestly like to see him dropped, but I just don't think Ten Hag's got the balls to do it. So he'll probably start Rashford. As for Garnacho, he's someone who I think, to be fair, he has a better impact, at least for me, coming off the bench. So if he starts tomorrow, I'll be happy because it means Rashford gets dropped. However, if Rashford starts, I'll also understand because he's usually a big game player. So it is what it is. We'll see what Ten Hag does, really. But when it comes to the number 9, I'd like to see Joshua Zirkzee start. So I don't want problems tomorrow. All our best players need to start, basically. I need all our big players to start tomorrow. As for Marcus Rashford, if it means he gets dropped, let him get dropped. If it means he starts, let him start. It is what it is. I don't really care. Yeah, let's see what happens. But like I said, my prediction for tomorrow's game, I feel like my head is saying it's going to be a 2-2 draw between the two sides. But my heart, as a United fan, is saying we're going to win 2-1. So I'm going to predict a 2-1 win for Man United. Goal scorers, I can see Amad Diallo scoring again. I know I've been terrible with predicting goal scorers this season so far. But I can see Diallo scoring one. And who else? Kobbie Mainoo. I'm going to predict a goal from Kobbie Mainoo and Amad Diallo, and for Man United to win by 2-1. So yeah, that's my thoughts on tomorrow's game. That's my prediction. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you think is going to win the game tomorrow? Is it going to be United? Is it going to be Liverpool? Let me know in the comment section. And if you haven't already, please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.